Mr. Rohit Singh, the Director General, Bureau of Indian Standards, Mr. Pramod Kumar Tiwari, Special Secretary, Consumer Affairs, Srimati Nidhi Khare, Shri Vimal Mahendru, all the distinguished participants online and present in the room here today from across countries across the globe, all the distinguished technical experts involved with the BIS and with quality setting, quality standard making in India, young professionals that I see in good measure who are coming into the quality space and are helping the nation develop a culture of quality. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm indeed delighted to be a part of this G20 Standards Dialogue 2023. I'd like to compliment Rohit ji and Pramod ji and their teams for having put together in a very short time this engagement with our G20 friends, with our countries from other parts of the world, to take forward the agenda that was finalized by our leaders to activate in such a short span of time after the Leaders' Summit what was discussed and decided in the historic G20 Leaders' Declaration, the New Delhi Declaration. And truly, this Standards Dialogue will help us discuss the challenges before the sectors, the opportunities that standards create or standards provide for industry and businesses to grow. It will help improve our trade, our competitiveness, our exports, help safeguard the health of our people, of our workers, of our farmers, and obviously all of this culminating in the protection of our consumers, because that's the largest section of society. Every single person on globe, there are 8 billion consumers. Each one of them has rights, has a desire to have a better quality of life and better quality of goods and services. In fact, Mr. Pramod Tiwari told me that he looks at standards as a passport to trade, and I cannot but agree with him. Truly, standards are like patents or our rights to technology or rights to our innovation. And those who control standards, those who have the ability to maintain high standards, are the ones who will control markets, control prices, control processes, and become the manufacturers and innovators of tomorrow. At the G20 New Delhi Declaration, we have truly laid down the path for shaping the world's tomorrow today. And in some sense, this is a very auspicious beginning today. And I'm sure that the theme, zero effect, zero defect, zero effect, is something that will resonate with all of us here. This is something the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, had articulated about 9 years ago. And as an evangelist for high quality, as an evangelist for sustainability, Prime Minister Modi has been on the forefront to create an awareness both within the country and internationally about the need for collective action and the need for all of us to come together in a fair, balanced, and equitable manner to ensure we leave behind a better world for the next generation. We focus on sustainability. We make growth more inclusive. We ensure growth doesn't come at the cost of the health of our people, at the cost of future risk to the globe, but at the same time, we ensure that we progress towards adoption of world-class standards, particularly in the less developed and developing countries also, possibly in a calibrated, in a graded manner, but certainly with a collective commitment to achieve high quality provision of goods and services for the people of the world. The United Nations Sustainable Development Goals are also before us. They are an important element to provide for the roadmap on standards and on sustainability. And I'm sure the goal for zero hunger, the goal for health and wellness, the goal for a better quality of life for every citizen will be important for all of us to keep in mind when we debate on this important subject. Affordable clean energy as we transition to better energy models, the global circular economy, that's an integral part of sustainable growth, where we look at recycling, reuse, and overall, we look at ensuring how we can keep waste to a bare minimum, which is absolutely unavoidable. That is the road forward, that is the pathway before us, and we in government desire only to act as a facilitator, not as a disruptor of your processes. We don't want to be the cause of any pain, any agony, but we want to handhold, we want to support your efforts, we want to make India compete with the rest of the world on equal terms, basis our quality, our competitiveness, and particularly looking at the large scale that India provides, the economies that we can get due to scale, the fact that if we produce quality products and provide good services, the world is our stage. The world is an opportunity for us to capture. We have a lot to learn from the developed world. We have a lot to support other emerging economies and less developed countries. When all of us come together, when all of us work as a team, I think standards will enable holistic development and the adoption of new technologies towards transforming lives, towards a sustainable future for the world. Friends, a lot of the jargon we hear, a lot of the words around sustainability are now resonating with common people also. The common man on the street recognizes that sustainable growth is good for him or her. Everybody today recognizes that growth will have to be inclusive, cannot leave anybody behind. And therefore, we have before us a very large agenda to move towards a low carbon economy. We have to all work together to see how we can promote processes which are really helpful. Thank you. Processes which are really helpful and become a pillar of the growth that we are looking in the years ahead. In terms of quality control orders, India is making rapid strides to encourage more and more consumers to become demanding consumers, to demand high quality goods and services, at the same time giving a reasonable amount of time for our producers to adopt to these new quality standards and ensure that India becomes recognized as a provider of good quality products, and we also come into the committee of those nations which are recognized for high quality standards within their country and for their export markets. As I see the way forward, I think it's going to be the synergy and synchronization that we can all work towards, the harmonization that we can all work towards, which will help us engage with international bodies, help us adopt standards which are internationally acceptable, keeping in mind our national condition, keeping in mind areas or very specific aspects that each country would have as unique propositions for their local people or local systems. Balancing that, we have to move towards global standards, towards standards which are acceptable around the world, so that India gets out of the mindset of two standards of everything that we produce. I remember those bad old days, if I can say, where every product had a mark for export quality. And the discerning consumers or the consumers who could afford to pay more would walk into a store and say, show me the goods which are of export quality. Our effort, ladies and gentlemen, is to move out of that mindset. Our effort is that every product that is made in India will be a high quality product. And a consumer, when he picks up a product in India, will be reassured of high quality and will not have to look at different products for its quality. And friends, policy making in India is moving in that direction. I'm sure we can learn a lot from other colleagues from the developed world, and together all of us can make this G20 Standards Dialogue a regular engagement and help those who do not have such robust systems, the less developed countries, countries in smaller countries, Pacific Island or Caribbean countries. We need to get them also engaged and help work together to make high quality as the only quality across the world. Let us all seize this opportunity and seize this moment. Let us all engage with each other. Let us all work together to collectively be the change that we want to see in the other. And I think if we all get together, if we all set a shared vision for a better world as our mantra, as our driving force, I am sure in the next few years, we in India and other countries along with us will all be able to upgrade our own ecosystems, our own standards, our own test labs, and hopefully have mutual recognition agreements with other countries so that quality is a given. And quality is not something that comes out of pressure, that comes out of quality control labs, but comes out of a personal conviction of each and every stakeholder to ensure a healthier and better future, a more prosperous future for Mother Earth and for every citizen of the world. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and I wish your Global Standards Dialogue all success.
Thank you very much, sir, for your enlightening address and calling standards as a passport for trade, and also giving thrust on UN SDGs, zero hunger, and good health and well-being. So with that, now the next is the remarks by the G20 member and invitee national standards body. So there are some countries, NSBs, who are attending face-to-face, some who are attending the event in virtual mode, and a few have sent their pre-recorded video messages. So we will start with the G20 member countries who are attending the event physically. And first, I would like to call Mr. Roland Terry Lloyd, Head of Stakeholder Engagement and Strategic Initiatives, Standards Australia.
Thank you. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, colleagues, and new friends. It has been a wonderful 2 days, and I have to thank BIS again for the event that they put on. We spent 2 years organising the ISOM, and what you have done in a short space of time is absolutely amazing. I'm going to be very short, and one key takeaway that I took from yesterday's session was that whilst governments make decisions, it is the people in this room and the organisations that they represent that are best placed to execute on those decisions. And it's important that ongoing G20 Standards Dialogue needs to occur outside of the annual summit. I'm confident that if we ensure ongoing collaboration at a regulatory, conformance and at standards levels, we will provide the best opportunity to improve our country's trade, innovation and economic ambitions. I'm grateful for this short but wonderful time here in India. And on a lighter note, if I may, on behalf of Australia and South Africa, all the best to the Indians in the Cricket World Cup. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Roland. Now next we have Mr. Omar Abdul Aziz Al Khwaiz, Vice Governor for Standards and Metrology, SASO, Saudi Arabia.
Your Excellencies, CEOs, representatives of national body standards and relevant international organizations, ladies and gentlemen, as the delegation representing Saudi Standards, Metrology and Quality Organization of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, we are honored to be part of this G20 Standard Dialogue. I would like to express my congratulations to the Republic of India for assuming the G20 presidency of this year. I would also like to express my appreciation to our colleagues at the Bureau of Indian Standards for their great preparations and arrangements of this important event. Furthermore,